by the time I was about to take the personality test for the civil services in New Delhi, I
Hmm.
was the employee of State Bank of India. I was probationary
Oh.
officer with the State Bank of India. Topped the debates. You
Hmm.
have the final content of the exams, the debate and the interview.
Hmm.
Civil services preparation, exam preparation was just a standalone journey, but
Hmm.
it was combination of experiences of taking many examinations,
Hmm.
I feel, in turn, provided the much required platform to be
Hmm.
able to demonstrate the experiences that have accumulated in the past.
Hello and welcome to Indian Masterminds. I am Bhakti Kothari, and today I am in conversation with Miss Beno Zafin Alagri, India's first 100% visually challenged Indian Foreign Service officer. But this conversation isn't about labels or milestones alone. It's about the person behind the history, the childhood, the doubts, the quiet courage, and the long road that shaped the woman who is with us today. So let's welcome her. So, hello and welcome to our channel, ma'am. We're so glad to have you here. And I know you took out time from your very busy schedule, especially for us today. So, thank you so much for joining us. We're really happy to have you here.
Thank you, Bhakti. Actually, I think we have been in conversation over phone for a while
Yeah.
now, and I'm very happy to be connected with you on a Zoom call with India Masterminds. Thank
Thank you so
you.
much, ma'am. So, please tell me when people introduce you today as India's first 100% visually challenged IFS officer, what goes through your mind? So, is it pride? Is it pressure? Something else entirely? What exactly goes through your mind?
When I entered into the portals of the Union Public Service,
Hmm.
when I entered into that particular interview hall
Hmm.
on that particular day, that is May 12th, 2014,
Hmm.
I was asked, "How are you?"
Hmm.
So I said, "I am fine, cool, calm, and confident."
Oh, wow.
So when you asked me this question, the
Yeah.
same four phrases come to my mind,
Hmm.
wherein when people introduce me as India's first 100% visually challenged foreign service officer, or
Hmm.
I think that, or you cherish yourself, right? So
Right,
whenever
right.
I cherish myself as India's first visually challenged foreign service officer, I still feel that those four phrases hold relevance till this moment, till this second, and it will hold relevance in the days to come, because one has to be calm, cool, confident, and
Hmm.
absolutely happy to be
Hmm.
able to take what has been offered
Hmm.
and also to explore the new
Hmm.
opportunities and also keep yourself
Hmm.
updated with absolute learning process.
Exactly, absolutely. And do you remember the first time that you became aware that your life would be different from most other people?
Actually, Bhakti, I am really happy to, uh, listen to your questions because they're very different. Actually, your questions are making me to think so much. So basically, when
Yeah.
I made my first speech
Hmm.
when I was 4 years old, I
Hmm.
think that's when I realized that I was different,
Hmm.
because when couple of my other friends were afraid to talk on stage,
Hmm.
I really was happy to hold that mic and make that oration.
Hmm.
So later, whenever I grew up, during my childhood,
Hmm.
both in school as well as my student life in the college, I always made it a point to make public addresses on topics of
Hmm.
relevance.
Right.
So I wanted to speak about, participate in competitions which had focus on topics like cancer. I
Hmm.
wanted to speak about conservation of wildlife.
Hmm.
I spoke about the protection of forests. So I
Hmm.
spoke about climate change. So I think, Bhakti, in a way, I was somebody and am
Hmm.
somebody, and
Hmm.
I will continue to be that somebody.
Hmm.
who wants to always focus on the society at large. So
Right.
I wanted to speak about topics that would make lot of difference for the society,
Hmm.
as well as also read extensively on those
Hmm.
topics to be
Hmm.
able to better myself in terms of my understanding and
Hmm.
in terms of my contribution to the society.
Hmm.
So I think um, in making me to feel different,
Hmm.
my oratorical skills
Hmm.
and each and every stage that the educational institutions offered me, I
Hmm.
think that um, served as a yardstick to determine my difference.
That's amazing, ma'am. I mean, that's such a well thought and such a beautiful answer. So, I am actually really happy having this conversation with you. I also wanted to ask you, I believe your parents have played a huge role in your journey. So, growing up, did you realize how extraordinary their support was, or did it feel normal back then?
If you ask me, Bhakti, always I would say that family is something which carves a person out.
True.
So I think in my life it is really true, and
Mm.
I am what I am today,
Yeah.
and I could do what I could do today.
Yeah.
I am able to sit in front of you to be able to give an interview today.
Yeah.
I think all this, confidence, the dedication,
Hmm.
the need to learn, I
Hmm.
think it came from the family.
Right.
So I think family is something which really nurtures a person, which
Hmm.
inculcates certain values into a child,
Yeah.
and family is something which plays a very, very vital and crucial role
Hmm.
in helping the person to
Hmm.
reach the heights that the person wants to.
Hmm.
So definitely the support that my parents have given um, was and has been incredible,
Hmm.
and I always have remembered their support fondly. And today I think the support that I get from my husband, Mr. Aragiri Sadasivam, and
Yeah.
my kids is also
Hmm.
something extraordinary, because
True.
my kids encourage me to learn each and every day, because I cannot just give them some vague answers and run away during their story time.
Right.
So I need to really learn and keep myself on my toes.
Hmm.
And definitely, my husband is the biggest source of inspiration, support, and he has n number of perspectives. So if there
Hmm.
are any challenges at workplace, if there are anything, if there are issues that I really need support with, I do talk to my husband, and the
Hmm.
kind of perspectives that he always gives me helps me to draw many, many shades of interpretation, an amalgamation of such interpretations. I think many a times helps me to overcome a number of confusions and achieve clarity. So I
Hmm.
think I owe my husband so much. So I think
Hmm.
family plays a very, very significant role, an inevitable role in a person's overall development.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with you. Like they say that, if you have family support, you have everything in this world. So I absolutely agree with your words. And ma'am, looking at your journey, you began by studying in a school for the blind, and later you came into mainstream college. So how did those two worlds, they shaped your confidence differently from each other? I mean, these were like two different worlds, one for the blind and one was like a mainstream place. So how did those two come together in shaping your confidence?
Actually, Bhakti, every day I used to go to my school from my home,
Yeah.
and there were a lot of cousins at my home.
Yeah.
Ours was a joint family.
Hmm.
So we had the opportunity to fight with each other. We had the
Hmm.
opportunity to play with each other. We had the opportunity to go out with each other. So we
Hmm.
had an opportunity to share our feelings, our thoughts, and everything.
Hmm.
So I cannot, so
Hmm.
far,
Hmm.
remember a moment
Hmm.
where I was sidelined because of my visual challenge, or
Hmm.
I was treated differently by my family, my
Hmm.
not just by my family but also by my extended family.
Yeah.
um, so I feel, I don't I differ, I choose to differ with your statement
Hmm.
that my world was different from
Hmm.
that of the other,
Hmm.
because never ever I had a feeling that I was in a different world.
Hmm.
Of course, I studied in Little Flower Convent Higher Secondary School for the blind, but I
Hmm.
can vouch that my
Hmm.
teachers gave me the best experience, that
Hmm.
I think, on par with sighted students. So
Hmm.
never ever they would have mentioned that this probably would be difficult for you. Never attempted. They always, even the most difficult concept, my
Hmm.
teachers used to teach us with absolute delight. And I
Hmm.
think that is what has made the real difference. So
Hmm.
I grew up like that of my sighted friends. I was raised like that of my sighted friends.
Hmm.
Today, I am a wife like that of my sighted friends. I
Hmm.
am a mother like that of my sighted friends. I
Yeah.
am a citizen like that of my sighted friends. So I don't see any difference in the way that people treated me,
Hmm.
or I don't see any difference in the way that I look at the society.
Right. That's amazing, ma'am. That's true, actually. I mean, that's not a different world. It's the same world we're all living in. So that was a really, really amazing answer. And civil services, especially Indian Foreign Service, I mean, civil services is considered extremely demanding. So what made you think that yes, this is where I belong, this is where I want to go to, this is where I want to work? What made you think that?
Whenever people used to ask me this question in the past or even today,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to always say that um, civil services ambition
Hmm.
has not been very systematic in my life.
Okay.
It's not like I am the daughter of a bureaucrat,
Hmm.
nor I am the daughter of a very well-to-do family, wherein
Hmm.
I really got the opportunity to, okay, listen to civil servants right from my childhood. I
Hmm.
didn't have all those opportunities like that of millions and millions of students and the youth in India. So
Hmm.
I was born to a Southern Railway Group C employee, who was just getting a meager amount of salary. So
Hmm.
I don't see myself to be so affluent,
Hmm.
and so my parents were neither so resourceful that they were able to give me access or exposure to bigger concepts and bigger things.
Hmm.
But my parents were generous enough to, yeah, beautiful enough to
Hmm.
give me education, and
Hmm.
the proper education. So they
Hmm.
really motivated me to do public speaking. My
Hmm.
father really used to take me to classes, to the speech competitions every Sundays. My mother used to read for 5 6 hours per day. So
Hmm.
they did the hard work that they were able to do for my
Hmm.
well-being. So
Hmm.
having said that, you know I really don't think that that has been a very systematic aspect in my life. That is, I would say, that was like a wildfire. So
Hmm.
someday I just told very randomly to my parents that I would do civil services, because couple of times when I was traveling in trains, the one of the biggest wealth, I would say, that my parents and family had given me was the exposure and the ability and the opportunity to speak to a lot of people.
Hmm.
Communication was a big strength to me, even when I was a child. So I was
Hmm.
able to interact with a lot of people during my trips to school,
Hmm.
each morning and evening.
Hmm.
And I happened to encounter a lot of people
Hmm.
who had different perspectives, you know.
Hmm.
So I heard from one of the travelers fine day
Hmm.
that why don't you do civil services? So I didn't know anything about civil services prior to that.
Hmm.
So when I was in my school, I never used to waste water or allow anybody to waste water. So I would say,
Hmm.
why are you wasting the resources of this country? So they
Hmm.
would say, are you a civil servant to talk to us like this? So
Hmm.
it was a combination of various factors.
Right.
It was a combination of various experiences. It
Hmm.
was a combination of various events, I think,
Hmm.
which have shaped my ambition to
Hmm.
become a civil servant.
Amazing, ma'am. Amazing, like seriously. And I also wanted to ask you, was there ever a plan B in case UPSC did not work out?
You know, I started preparing for my civil services. Simultaneously, I was doing my master's in English literature at Loyola College, Chennai.
Mm-hmm.
So I was continuously, you know, though I hadn't thought about plan A, plan B, plan C, but on one thing I was very, very clear that I would not waste a minute of time.
Hmm.
So every Sunday, I used to go and take up competitive exams. So I cleared All India Radio exams
Hmm.
for becoming the program executive.
Hmm.
I cleared the combined graduate level, staff selection commission exams. I
Hmm.
cleared the UGC NET exam. I
Hmm.
cleared again, the TNPSC exam, the Tamil Nadu Public Service
Hmm. Hmm.
Commission, the stage one of it. So
Hmm.
whatever exams I took, I was
Hmm.
able to continuously clear the exams, which
Hmm.
in turn provided the much required confidence to handle the civil services examination.
Right.
So by the time I was about to take the personality test for the civil services in New Delhi, I
Hmm.
was the employee of State Bank of India. I was probationary
Oh.
officer with the State Bank of India. So I topped the All India level. I
Hmm.
topped the debates. You
Hmm.
have the final content of the exams, the debate and the interview.
Hmm.
So I topped it. So
Hmm.
basically, I really feel that civil services preparation, exam preparation was just a standalone journey, but
Hmm.
it was a combination of experiences of taking many examinations. I
Hmm.
feel in turn provided the much required platform to be
Hmm.
able to demonstrate the experiences that have accumulated in the past.
Right, ma'am. And also, could you please take us through the process? Like, how did you prepare for UPSC? Because, there's a lot of inaccessible study material, newspapers, a lot of things that could have been inaccessible. So I would really like to know about the process of the entire preparation process.
Bhakti, when I started preparing for civil services, at least when I desired
Hmm.
to prepare for the exam,
Hmm.
I never thought that, okay, this was not accessible, that was not accessible. So
Hmm.
that is given, okay, that was given
Hmm.
that I would not be able to access such stuff.
Hmm.
Now, always I believe in um, strategizing
Hmm.
what needs to be done
Hmm.
to be able to do what is actually difficult, right? There's
Right.
no point in lamenting or moaning. So you
Hmm.
have to really, yes, of course, if you want to read a book, Bhakti, tomorrow, you can
Hmm.
always take the book and start reading, whereas i
Okay.
i couldn't at that point in time. So
Hmm.
what option I was left with, for
Hmm.
example, I use laptop. There is a software called Job Access with Speech. So
Hmm.
with a particular software, you can read certain materials online,
Hmm.
and you could also scan some books and then read. And also,
Okay.
my mother was a huge pillar in this regard, where
Hmm.
she used to read for me, every day 5 to 6 hours.
Hmm.
And one of my friends, Anupama, she used to read 2 to 3 hours, 4 hours every night.
Hmm.
So, people had literally read books for me for hours and hours together. and certain books, for example, Indian Polity by Lakshmikant. Because I don't know, Bhakti, whether in our previous conversations whether I had mentioned to you about my fascination for Indian Constitution,
Hmm.
but I am really a fan of Indian Constitution because
Yeah.
it's such a unique document with
Hmm.
number of sections which clearly outlines
Hmm.
um, the procedure, the governance procedures, the administrative
Hmm.
mechanisms, the way the fundamental rights, the
Hmm.
fundamental duties, everything in a
Hmm.
very, 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 very candid manner.
Hmm.
So you must have heard about the process of preparing a constitution. Our
Hmm.
constitution makers had taken so many constitutions, they had studied them and gotten the best out of them. And it's such a great living document. So I really wanted to read the constitution. The civil service aspirants would know the
Hmm.
famous book Indian Polity by Lakshmikant. I
Hmm.
really converted that book into Braille, which came out to 34 volumes. And I
Oh.
started reading those books. And
Hmm.
my husband, Mr. Raragiri Sadasivam, he used to read for me Hindu. He used to finish off reading Hindu for 5 to 6 hours per day, and
Hmm.
later he used to read for me 4 to 5 news items which he thinks that they are the most essential,
Hmm.
and for about 30 minutes, which
Hmm.
allowed me to take notes and then later recap and think
Hmm.
about them and
Hmm.
write about them. So I
Right.
think it was a teamwork.
Hmm.
I attribute my success to each and everybody who
Hmm.
has been in my life right from my
Hmm.
childhood till today. So I
Hmm.
think it was not just the success of Beno Zephin Aragiri, but
Hmm.
it was the success of each and every person who has chosen to travel with me, who has
Hmm.
chosen to support me, who has chosen to be with me during my difficult times.
That's amazing, ma'am. And actually, kudos to all the people around you, your husband, your family, your mother, your friends. Everybody supported you so well. And it's
It's a
such,
big teamwork. Beno is the
yeah.
product of teamwork.
Oh,
And
wow.
Beno is not just the product of her experiences, but Beno is the product of the teamwork of so many individuals who give huge importance and respect to humanity.
Absolutely, ma'am. And do you remember where were you when you first came to know about the result that your name was on the list? So, who broke the news to you, and what was your first reaction?
You ask about my civil services examination results.
Yeah.
So I was in State Bank of India in Tiruvallur branch.
Hmm.
Tiruvallur is a small town in
Hmm.
Chennai. Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean around Chennai, and
Hmm.
that is the place where I was doing my agriculture training as
Hmm.
part of State Bank of India's
Hmm.
probationary officer course.
Hmm.
So I was there, I was sitting, I was dealing with certain non-performing asset cases.
Hmm.
And that's when one of my friends, Mr. Bharani, called me and said,
Hmm.
Congratulations, you know what rank you have obtained. I said, I'm not sure. What you're saying
Hmm.
itself is a big news. And
Yeah.
then he said, You got 343rd rank. And that he said, That's amazing and all the
Yeah.
best and all that. I
Yeah.
just could not control
Hmm.
my happiness, but at the same time,
Hmm.
I'm not somebody who would get too emotional for anything.
Hmm.
So while I was happy, while I knew that something big happened in my life, I
Hmm.
still felt there. I mean, when there is something good happening, it also warrants or it also calls for something
Hmm.
big to be done. So
Yeah.
I felt my responsibilities would also be equally
Hmm.
weighing, equally high,
Hmm.
and I need to really be more productive. I need to equip myself to be more productive. I
Hmm.
need to continue to work harder to be able to um, achieve and contribute to the system which has placed the trust on me.
Hmm. Right, ma'am, right. But such a cute little moment, you know, you working in a job that you were planning as plan B, and then you finally come to know about the result. So looking back now, what part of your entire journey still feels very, very raw?
Still feels very, very
Raw.
raw. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, the time when I cleared my main examination,
Hmm.
the UPSC main examination,
Hmm.
and the time that I was, about to take my personality
Hmm.
test. Those 3 to 4 months
Hmm.
when I was bubbling with joy,
Hmm.
when I was visiting institute after institute
Hmm.
to give the mock personality test,
Hmm.
just to be, appreciated and sometimes scolded and sometimes criticized
Hmm.
by the panelists there.
Hmm.
That was a huge experience because, each time when I used to come out of the interview room,
Hmm.
I used to feel, my God, there is something lacking.
Hmm.
I need to equip myself more. I need to
Hmm.
read myself more. So
Hmm.
those personality tests, the mock tests,
Hmm.
provided me with the opportunity and inculcated in me the spirit of wanting to read more, to make myself more better, more
Hmm.
fruitful, and more informative.
Hmm.
So even before the actual personality test,
Hmm.
I remember sitting and reading continuously.
Hmm.
So I mean, but on the day of the personality test, I was
Hmm.
absolutely relaxed. I
Hmm.
was absolutely happy, having entered into just the portals of UPSC.
Yeah.
That itself gave a huge fillip to my confidence
Hmm.
because, you just entered where you wanted to come.
Hmm.
You could enter a place which might not be accessible to many.
Hmm.
You had made it, Josephine. Whatever happens after this is just, something which is destined or immaterial. But
Hmm.
then, whatever happened till now,
Hmm.
that was your hard work. That was the
Hmm.
way I'm thinking.
That's amazing, ma'am. And with that, we come to the end of the first part of our conversation today. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you.
So, this was Miss Benno's journey before the world even knew her name. We will soon come up with the second part of her video interview where she shares how she walked into the IFS for the first time and her experiences as a foreign service officer working across the world. Until then, like, share, and subscribe to Indian Masterminds for more such inspiring interviews of changemakers of our country. Thank you for watching. This is Bhakti Kothari signing off.